think now. Back so soon to another game. Hello, budding adventurers, and welcome back to the Board Game Basement with me, AZ, Ghosty, and the fabulous Alice once again, who's Ghosty's mate. We've been doing a lot of stuff on really big games and Kickstarters and things like that. Something sort of cropped up. We play games in between doing different bits and bobs, and a bit of a gem came along, and we thought we'd give it a shout out because we've enjoyed it that much that we thought, well, why not? And that's this beautiful thing here, Legendary Kingdoms: The Valley of Bones by Spider-Man Games. It's an adventure book that you go through, old school style, people, old school style. You go through it page to page. You select a group of budding adventurers that are part of this story, and you read the book. It's as simple as that, isn't it? It really is as simple as that, but it actually is bags and bags and bags of fun.
So much fun, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
All you need to play this game is Ghosty, obviously, but you need some D6s and a pencil, and yourself, a group, whoever you might be, a little character sheet, and you go through it, and you have a great time. I grew up reading this sort of stuff as a kid, choose your own adventure kind of things.
I'd never experienced that before.
Well, you lived a sad existence. You really did. You know, while all the teenage boys were going to parties, I was in my bedroom reading adventure books.
Sounds fun.
And who's laughing now? That's right. Yeah, who's laughing now? Well, and I think, you know, there's a key thing missing, and we always talk about it in the basement. And that you know, when we're talking about getting people involved in games and really bringing things to life, these sort of things really show you that less is more sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, this.
Yeah.
I printed this off, so please, Spider-Man Games, don't sue me, because your website didn't let me buy the book because there was some problem with British shipping, which I think they acknowledged anyway. But you can pick up the PDF. There's a PDF version, but I think the website's working now. It's a Kickstarter thing as well. They kickstarted the second book volume because this is designed to carry on. It's designed to flow. You get through one book and you can go on to the next book with your same characters and progress through, and that's something different because it gives you a sense of progression. But it is really simple, and it's just really beautiful as well. It's really well written in
So
terms
easy to get
of,
lost in it.
yeah, you get lost in it. And if you've got somebody who enjoys reading or is enthusiastic, especially about characters, a lot of this.
I was pointing at you.
Yeah.
It's you. You're very good at that.
I just think I get too engrossed in it, but
Get into it.
I like playing Dungeons and Dragons though. I love Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a dungeon master, so it's just what I do. These books are really good at giving you a good framework, but they can still work. If you just wanted to read this book as is, with your kids, with your friends, you could easily go through it. I like to add bits in and add filler bits in. So I'll ask, you know, when we're playing, I'll ask Alice, what is this person doing now? And she'll look at me a bit confused, like, what do you mean? And I'll say, just tell me what they're doing. And she'll tell me, and then I'll make up a story about how we got from this to this bit, fill in those gaps that this kind of leads. But it allows you to do that, doesn't it? And it allows you to do it really well. And because you're controlling 4 characters who you choose, you've got a selection of different ones you can choose from. Because you choose those characters, you can adapt those how you want, and you can make them however it is. And we've got quite a few funny ones, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
That we've picked. Some of ours have already got a bit of a love affair going on, which we
called it, didn't we?
called that, yeah. It's between a samurai guy and a princess knight,
No,
isn't
she's
it?
a knight, yeah.
Yeah, but she's a princess as
She
well.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
But it's quite amusing for me to be romantic with this samurai and princess. but you can do that, and you know this costs less than £10 to get as a PDF. I mean, goodness sake, less than £10 for just nights of just, you know.
And there's a lot of
There's
stories.
yeah,
there.
there's
a lot
loads,
of
there's
stories.
loads, and it carries on as well. Like I said, there's going to be more books that come out. I really hope that they do get the progression side of things right, as is with anything. If you watch our Madeira review that we've just released, we'll talk about that in there, making sure that when you do progress to the next bit, it's done in a constructive way where you're not throwing 3 million of these around and, you know, it becomes a numbers game. But for this, I think they're going to have the balance right. I think you are going to be throwing probably quite a lot more dice.
Use this, wasn't it?
And it does say that in here. But it's not that bad at all. It's got a lovely combat system in it. You know, the enemies fight you, you fight them. It's not just choose your own select bit and move. You actually have to fight, and how well you do determines what happens next and where you go. And it's exciting, isn't it? Especially if you're acting that out. We had a really funny bit where we had to come up with a plan, and it gave you a list of things that you could try and plan to come up with something. And we decided to start a makeshift scrap in order to distract people while someone else jumped through a window and got in. And it all went a bit bonkers.
It did.
But it worked out in the end, didn't it? But it worked out in the end, but it was funny.
Yeah,
and because we were adding, you know, we're adding our own flavour to it, it really was hilarious. We were just laughing our way through it. And I think things like these, you know, really go sort of under the radar in terms of what people are looking for. Especially, you know, I'm guilty of it for sure. I see games that have got hundreds of models and it says hours and card play and hundreds of cards, and we'll scroll down on with our mouse and we'll see all those things that we can unlock as, you know, more backers get into it. And I think, oh yes, juicy. All of that's right here, God, right here. You don't need all of that when you can get excited about pages, about a story. Like, my goodness.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a lot cheaper as well.
Yeah, and you know, is it a board game? No, it's not a board game in the traditional sense. But then again, if you look at Legacy of Dragonhof, that classes itself as a board game. And this is more of a game than that is.
You can sit on the sofa or in bed and do this.
Yeah, you can.
Be comfy
You can.
and
you can
get lost in your little world.
But that, you know, that classed itself as a board game, and was it? I think it was, in its own right. It says it is. Fair enough. I enjoyed it. This is better, hands down, and a lot cheaper, because you're doing a lot more. You're a lot more involved. You could play this as a group, but it would be better if someone was reading and give each person their characters and let them do the rolling for those characters, because it's not paragraphs of text. I fill a lot. Like I said, I fill a lot of the gaps out. But you're always doing something, aren't you?
Is there an app for this one?
No, that would be silly.
That'd be so long,
I'd
wouldn't
be
it?
like saying,
Imagine all the options.
is there an app for Harry Potter? No.
Stephen Fry did do the audiobooks for Harry Potter and they're incredible, so...
That's not an app.
Similar.
It's an audiobook.
And plus you don't get options in Harry Potter, do you?
we
Anyway.
This is not Harry Potter.
It's not.
Okay,
it's nothing
it's
like
not.
Harry Potter.
The theme is, very, you know, knightish. You're in some sort of barren wasteland type place. We're in the Valley of Bones at the minute, which is the title of this book, but that's just one area of this sort of world that we're in. And the other books cover those different areas. And eventually we're going to be controlling armies and have boats and goodness knows what. It tells you all sorts of exciting things in here. But for this one, you're sort of trying to make a name for yourself and build yourselves up. And you really are starting with the bare bones of it all. But it's exciting. It's been really, and it's been quite a pleasure to go through, especially considering how cheap it is. And even if you wanted to back, I think the Kickstarter's still open. It might be. Take a look. you can get the first copy of the book along with the second one when it gets released. You might be able to go on their website and pick up the first book if you wanted to straight away. I would have picked up the hard copy. I would try to pick up the hard copy because I couldn't do this on my phone and play. You need to write things down. Which the only reason I did is because they couldn't, so I printed it out and binded it. But you can pick up the hard copy, and I think that's less than 20 quid, which is a bargain for what you could do.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about getting younger people into board games, getting them into role playing and things like that, and using their imagination.
It's the imagination thing that's so important.
Yeah, it is really important, and
because you can lose that at the moment, can't you, when
yeah.
you're a kid?
And these things are really nice. It's not graphic in a sense. It does have fight scenes in it, which are you are stabbing folk and they are getting sliced and
so it's not
lopping people's heads off. No, but there's not foul language or anything like that in it. It's not. We've not come across anything like that, have we?
It's not like is it This War of Mine where it was like.
It's not an 18.
It's not an 18.
No, it's
not.
not.
Graphic.
No. It's not. That's like saying Harry Potter is like Rambo.
Stop bringing up Harry Potter.
Jesus. But I think there's a lot in it for a lot of people that like adventure stuff. Again, if you sat there with thinking about you wanting something to do, you're looking for something just as a time filler to take to bed, like as Alice has said, to do is just a little bit. We've been doing this on the side of doing other things, and it's been fab. It actually has been really good. And I was just saying like how these things go amiss, and which is a shame, because if only they had more sort of drive. And again, less can often be more. And in this case, it's quite a nice reminder of where we've come from and why that was special way back when. And I'm sure those viewers are a lot older than I am, and would totally get that. And those ones that are a similar age than me would also appreciate it. And I think it goes a long way to show that anyone can sort of get a lot from something like this, especially if you're somebody that would be quite perplexed at a bigger game. Something like this might actually be exactly what you're looking for. I think if more things came out like this with different themes, it would be quite nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You could do this sort of theme for anything. Well, whatever you wanted, you could adapt it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the system here is a lot better than what some of the other systems, those storybooks are, because it actually adds that role element to it, that success, that sense of achievement. They've done a nice job. Illustration wise, like I say, there's a few nice little I'll just show you, there's all the little pictures in it, just giving you a bit of a detail. Nice black and white. But again, it's all about imagination, isn't it, mostly? There's the odd pictures we get in it that that sort of give you an idea of what's going on, but nothing major. But it's not, it doesn't need it, does it, really?
No.
It doesn't.
I'm lying there with my eyes closed while you read it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, she's not bored, by the way.
No,
She's just,
I'm not. I just get in the moment.
Exactly. What's in there?
No, we've not
No,
been
we're
to
not
that
into
bit.
that bit.
No.
We won't talk about that bit. We might change our mind. When we see. But no, yeah. So from the basement, we just wanted to give these guys a shout out, really. Just let people know that there are things out there for adventurers like myself who enjoy a good pack up and go kind of thing.
You could literally take this on a picnic and sit in a field and read it. Pack up and go. There you go.
That would be strange, wouldn't it?
What? No.
Is it frowned upon?
You've got a sausage roll while you're in
Although
a field.
people are ball gaming outside now.
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
The
that's
weather's
a new
getting
thing, isn't
better. Go on a little social distance walk and have a seat and read that.
it? Do you see people reading in the parks anymore? Or is that just in films?
I do it sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes I go and write. Just sit on a park bench. I'm just like,
Never seen that.
pretend I'm in a film.
I don't. I built this basement to hide away.
Not to see people.
Like Gollum. But now you could take this anywhere if you wanted to. Again, I get a lot more out of actually reading these things to people than actually sitting there and doing it myself. But I used to sit there and read them to myself, so you know I could do that quite easily. But I like to do that, and I think if you are someone who enjoys that, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinders, whatever it may be, and you enjoy reading to people, this would be something really good. It has all the framework done for you. You just add your own little bits to it. You can ask the people you're playing with more about the world they're in. You could essentially just be role playing this entire thing if you wanted to. You could notch it up a level.
Like LARPing.
No, don't do that. Don't run around with swords and stuff. That's illegal.
Not if they're wooden.
Don't run around with wooden swords or things like that, please. Please don't. We're not encouraging that sort of behaviour here at all. You would probably get yourself seriously injured. People don't find that acceptable. So no, this is not about LARPing at all. This is about sitting and reading comfortably in a safe environment. Be safe, people, because we should be being safe. Shouldn't we?
Yeah, I didn't mean real weapons though.
No, but I just mean in general.
Yeah.
No, that's crap.
No. Oh yes. Yeah.
Don't LARP.
Don't know.
We did have Alfia's on in that LARPing.
We did. No, that's just fancy dress, isn't it?
Mm.
Cosplay, if you will.
If you will. Maybe. So yeah, grab yourself a pencil and some D6s. Get yourself a copy of. I believe you can get a preview for free on your phone or on the computer. Do that. Take a look for yourself. They give away a little free preview. Just about the beginning bit, I think it is. But give it a look. Have a go. So if you're looking for something for less than 20 quid to rock on for a bit with, then we at the basement definitely implore you to get your hands on this. 2 thumbs up from us. Thank you very much, Spider-Man Games, for providing us with this piece of beauty, and we look forward to getting the next one for sure. The real version. I would like the real version of this one as well, actually, but that would be nice. So, and a ghostly white from me, and you've really enjoyed it as well, haven't you?
I did, yeah.
So yeah, thanks again for joining us at the basement. Head over to the Valley of Bones and prepare to have nothing. Yeah? Don't laugh.
Yeah, not in big groups.